something a little bit different. Today we are going to be talking about wrestling. That's crazy. I'm joined as always by Tucker. Tucker, why are we talking about wrestling? What's going on?
You know, pro wrestling is a weird thing.
Yep.
Sad people find it and they
Yep.
just never leave it.
Yep.
And that's
Wow.
that's pro wrestling.
That's haunting. Um,
Terrifying, genuinely.
So we want to do something a little bit different. Obviously, we've had like a wrestling podcast before where we've talked about wrestling. But today we're going to be going through, because we've just basically finished this era, the Ruthless Aggression era in the save. And we're going to go through all of the Ruthless Aggression era WWE champions, and we're going to be ranking them on a tier list. And hopefully that will lead to some engaging discourse. Isn't that right, Tucker?
Yeah, lots of things to talk about, lots of reigns, to be fair. More than I expected. Like putting this together, specifically O2, I was like, oh my god, they had no clue what they were doing with this thing. They're just like, put it on somebody.
So before we
it around.
get into the actual video, I think we should talk about like tier list philosophy here, because I always do it like this. Whether it was have you got the stream up? By the way, I think that might be useful as we go along to see as the team.
Could do that. Definitely.
Yeah, because obviously it'll be on delay, but you'll see the tier list developing slowly. I always do
edited, so it's fun.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I always do 5 tiers. Oh, actually, this should be F, not D. So I'll change that now. So I always do 5 tiers, and the way I see it is like B is like average, A is above average, C is below average, and then S and F are like specifically for exceptionally good or bad things. And I am okay with those tiers being like empty on most of my tier lists. So that's the way I always do it. I don't know if you have different views or if you want to do it a little differently.
Traditionally how I do it, which is just like me doing it for like, I don't know, dumb things.
Yeah.
When a tier list craze first hit. I would do like S, A, B, C, D, F. But I don't really... It doesn't really matter, I don't think, to me. Like, I mean, we have like a clear division there.
Yep.
I do like using F instead of D, because... Or at least adding F onto D. Because, yeah... I don't know. It just makes sense to me that there would be...
I think... yeah, if you're not like strongly opposed, I think this is the way I'd like to do it. And I liked your idea of occasionally throwing in a meme tier. So if, for example, you give the example of like Big Gold having its own tier, I'm fine with that. Or if, like, for example, we did, biggest flops, if we want to put Hornswoggle in his own tier at the bottom, that would be completely fine with me. But yeah, I think that's it. Did you want to do like a video intro then? And then we can get started?
Yeah, I don't really even know what I want to do for that, but 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. This is weird, right? You can see me. That's not how this normally works. Well, there was like a time period where it did work like that, but whatever. I'm getting too into the weeds of it. We're here with some different stuff. It's going to be a little interesting to figure out. It is a tier list for the Ruthless Aggression era, which I think we've described as WrestleMania 18 to WrestleMania 24.
Yep. There's some fuzziness around the borders that we talked about. I know, like the beginning period, especially, we had a couple back and forths on. We compromised on X8, and then the end. I definitely think it ends earlier than 24, but I just think 24 is a nice end point to pick rather than somewhere in December of 2007, which is probably more accurate.
No, yeah. I feel that for sure. Yeah. I think like Wikipedia said that X8 was the last Attitude Era show, and then I went ahead and read, and I want to say they said that the Ruthless Aggression era ended in June of 2008, and I was like, what is the...
That seems really late.
No citations. No citations or anything. It's just like some guy who's like, I think it ended here.
Well, Tucker, if you disagree with it, you could have edited it yourself.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I've heard about that with Wikipedia. You can just edit it, apparently, right?
It is a community-sourced information.
I'll have to look into
platform.
That seems a little interesting. That might change the world.
Ooh.
So yeah, starting at WrestleMania X8, going to WrestleMania 24. It's the WWE Championship specifically.
Yep. Or WWF Championship at times.
That's true, yeah.
WWE Heavyweight Championship for a short period, I think.
The Undisputed World Heavyweight Championship for a while.
Yeah.
It's the... I don't even know. I was gonna say it's the like eagle one, but it's not. It's the eagle one for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
In this context,
Wait, it's for all of Triple H's reign, right? Or does he get a new belt at some point?
he does at some point walk around
Okay.
with the undisputed belt. I wanted to
Interesting.
grab a photo of that, but it was like they're all like low quality. I don't think he ever did like any like real shots of it with him. He just kind of like had it.
Let's not tell. I know you've kind of hinted at it there, but I'm kind of comment to guess who sourced which pictures because we collaborated on this. So, which pictures do you think I got, and which ones do you think Tucker got? So yeah, we're gonna rank them. Should we talk about what the tiers mean?
Yeah, sure thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, if you've ever seen a tier list video before, you're gonna generally get how this works.
Yeah.
At the top, we've got S, which stands for so good.
Yeah, true.
Then there's A, which stands for all right. Yeah, that's pretty good. There's B, which stands for
Beh.
Yeah, beh, that's good. Beh. There's C, which stands for kinda with a C, crap.
Kind of crappy. I like that. Yeah.
And then there's F, which is go fuck yourself.
So immediately I'm going to put Hulk Hogan into the F tier.
Yeah, there he goes, where he belongs. Yeah, I guess. Do we just start it off from the top? I guess
we could do. I think one of the things we should also talk about with these often is like, what are we rating these guys on? Is it like how good were the matches? How interesting the television was? How much of an impact did they have during the run? How much did they elevate the belt? How much did they elevate the company? Like, there's a bunch of different things we could. I would probably say all of the above. It would be my go-to on that one.
It's going to be a combination of all of them. I think for certain guys, there's going to be different things that take a little bit more weight. Like, the number 2 guy there who we just mentioned, Hulk Hogan, I doubt we're going to have a big talk about his in-ring performances.
Yep.
It'll be more so, I guess this is going to sound so cringe. You ready to cringe?
I'm ready.
The cultural significance, I guess, I mean to say.
100%.
Yeah.
Of the reign, yeah.
Yeah, of the reign, of course. Not of just Hulk Hogan, period.
Yeah, okay. You ready to jump into it?
That I am, yeah.
Okay, so we're starting off then with Triple H. Oh yeah, that's right. I thought I was forgetting something. I think we should also mention that we're going to be a lot more familiar with the back half of this as well. I'm just admitting that right off the bat. I've seen all of this at some point or another, but I'm a lot more familiar with sort of the Brock to Eddie era onwards than I am with the early, like 2002 stuff.
I've seen a good amount of the 02 stuff. It's like, it's the weeds of 03. Where the belt just keeps going back and forth. I got no clue.
When it's on SmackDown rather than like floating. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, Triple H then, first champion in our period. He wins the belt off of Chris Jericho in, am I right in saying the main event of X8? Did it go on last?
It is. It did go on last.
And that was Rock Hogan, right? That was the Rock Hogan show, and they went on last. It's Jericho's WrestleMania main event. And yeah, he holds the belt. He defends it once in a triple threat against Jericho and Stephanie McMahon. Am I reading that correctly? On a Raw, which must be the night after? No, it's a week. It's a week after Mania. He defends it against Jericho and Steph.
It's on a draft show.
It
says.
And then at Backlash, he loses it to Hulk Hogan. So last reign of the WWF era, kind of. No, Hogan has it for a bit there. Last reign of like the 2 belts. He gets the new belt. What do you remember this triple threat with Jericho and Steph? Can you comment on it at all?
I have no clue what that's about. The only thing I can think of, I think I'm thinking of like the later Stephanie involvement with like Lesnar and stuff like that, where she very much just like stands there and Brock is like, maybe I will attack you. And like the babyface's job is to protect her, but in this
Trips
feud,
is the correctly, is this the one where Trips is the he comes back at the Rumble from injury? Is this year?
Yes,
and he wins the Rumble.
Hero coming back to stifle this woman and her new man.
See now, I mean, the Rumble win was big. The Rumble win was cool. I think it was a huge pop for his return. and then they immediately channeled that into a Mania main event with Jericho, who was like pretty over at the time.
Did he win the Rumble in 02?
I think so. Yeah,
He must have, right? They have one belt.
That's the injury return, right? If it's the injury return at Rumble, that's he wins it. I think.
It's definitely 02 is the injury return. Like that all lines up for that. So you're right. Then so this is him coming back as a big baby face.
Yep.
Going on to Mania, beating the like meek champion or whatever.
So from what I can see on this reign, again, not remembering it too fondly, the actual reign seems like a damp squib, right? He has like basically no defenses. It lasts like barely a month.
A month.
Yeah.
A month.
So it really all hinges on how good that win was in the Mania main event. And I think even though I like the concept and I think they executed it quite well, I think it very much gets overshadowed on that card. So I
know for sure, like at the event itself, people are tired by the time that comes on. Like they've gone through their main event.
I think this is an easy C. I guess the only question is whether or not we think it might be an F. But I don't think so, right? It's not exceptionally bad. So it doesn't make me angry that this happened, right?
No, yeah, I guess it makes sense, right? And like the story going into the win itself at least is good. Okay. I will say
I guess the Steph stuff's something I'm not considering, so if that's something you want to bring into it, yeah.
I don't really, because that would make it probably worse. But
that's fine,
in my head...
If it needs to be worse, it needs to be worse, Tucker.
That's true. You're right. Yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking of... This is new for me, all right? I don't do this often.
You get to shit on things. You love doing that.
I do. I'm allowed to. The Triple H Stephanie stuff is all kind of weird throughout that whole period. Lots of like weird misogynism stuff going on, which you would expect, I guess, from a 2002 wrestling company. But running it back, it's a little weird and kind of just messed up, I guess. It's very that bitch, that woman. Oh my God, she's fucking with his career. And it's just kind of like.
Does that stuff push it into the F then, for you, or is it just like a C?
I'm trying to think, if this doesn't go into F, what does?
Well, again, I'm fine with Fs and S's being empty at the end of the day. Like, it should only be for the exceptionally bad stuff. And I remember, if we do a part 2 to this, where we do the World Heavyweight title, we'll use the same. Yeah, we'll use the same. Yeah, that's true. There will be. We'll use the same tier list, and we'll just add to it. So yeah, we can always add Kali when we get there. But
yeah.
Although I might actually, whatever, I'm skipping ahead, but I might pitch for Kali not to be in the F tier, but you'll probably argue me down.
Part is I will end up agreeing with you on that probably. I don't think it's that awful.
I'm at C, but if you want to pitch for F, then I'm listening.
See, this is why we need D, because then we could put things in between it.
No, because I think anything you would argue for D should just go in C. If you're not convinced on an F, it shouldn't be an F. F should be for the stuff that's really outrageous.
Yeah, I don't want to say it's a total failure. Like, I mean, it's a transitional reign, on paper at least. I'd go C. Yeah.
I think also one thing to mention is it's sort of like the genesis of the babyface Triple H character. Like, I think this is like the start of the same character he plays for like the next 10 years. Obviously, he goes back to a heel right afterwards, but when he goes back to the babyface, it's the same character.
Yeah, and it's the first time he had been face since mid 99, early 99.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And this is a very different babyface character as well. I think it's new.
Yeah, he's no longer because he's DX like rebel guy before that. And then this is very much I am a big
badass.
Killer. Yeah. Like I've come back to collect my belts.
Okay, so this Hulk Hogan reign, he wins it off Triple H. 22 minutes, by the way. I think this is one of those things. If we had seen that Triple H Hulk Hogan match, we may have different thoughts on both these reigns, because that I feel like is either like a fairly surprisingly good match or terrible. Then he beats Chris Jericho in an ODQ match on SmackDown in Pittsburgh. And then he beats Ric Flair on a Raw in Canada.
In an ODQ match.
Holy.
Smoke and mirrors are going crazy, man. The smoke machine at full blast.
And then he only makes it to Judgment Day, so another month-long reign where Taker wins it off of him, which is a match. I do remember that match. I remember actually quite enjoying that match, Taker Hogan. I thought that match was actually quite all right for its time. but was literally a child when I watched that match. So
Yeah,
it's been a long time.
Can't say I remember a ton of the Hogan Reigns matches. I mean, I can tell. I mean, maybe I'm totally wrong and people can expose me, but I assume with the lengths, the stipulations, and who it is, the match with Jericho and the match with Flair is very much like them comedy bumping around Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
And the no DQ stuff is obviously for smoke and mirrors.
It's interesting. The opponents that are chosen, I think, are quite nice because I'm quite complimentary. I think of O2 Hogan overall in that like he knows what he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like Flair and Jericho are great opponents for that, where it's like Hogan can just, if the crowd's hot, which I'm thinking, Air Canada Center probably is.
Oh yeah, no, this whole Hogan reign is very hot. Like this is like people are really into this. Hogan's the champ again. It's 1985 all over again, baby. We never went anywhere. Yeah.
For me, instinctually, I'm like on the BC borderline, where I'm like, it's still a month-long reign, but there's actually like there's enough meat on those bones that I might say it's just like meh. It's just a B tier reign.
I'm probably in a B. Like honestly,
Okay.
I think the Hogan reign sticks out to me. Like I remember this reign. I know of this reign.
Yeah.
Even the Triple H reign just before this is like kind of like maybe that never happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe they just made that up and told me that was going on. But no, I've seen the Hogan run and the stuff building up to that, and dude's crazy over. It's coming right out of that X8 match where they turn him babyface. It's like it's the Hulk still rules stuff. Possibly my favorite look for Hogan ever in terms of like ring gear and presentation
and he has this look all the way through to 06, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yes. This is his like 2000s look where it's the NWO gear, the boa, the I don't know. Oh, the pants specifically, like the tie-dye pants, but they're no longer black and white, they're red and yellow. It's a good look. I don't know. Yeah, B.
I'm with you on B.
I might.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I might even in my head go a little higher, but
my argument against A would be it's a month, right? Like it's
yep.
There can be some S tier month-long title reigns. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think this is there's enough there to like turn this into an A tier reign. Although saying that, a month-long reign that we both do remember, because I'm with you. I remember Hogan with that belt, and this is the only time he had it. So a month-long reign that you do remember 20 years later is impressive. Oh, maybe I'm talking myself, but I think it's a B personally.
I would probably go the same. Because I'm going to count on the work not being totally there, but I can't exactly tell you. So maybe it should be higher. I don't know. Leave a
let
comment.
Us know.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, anything you just give us your tier list in the comments below. What have we gotten wrong?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so the Taker reigns.
How much you love Hulk Hogan and how wrong I am.
Taker reign starts at Judgment Day as TV defenses against RVD and Randy Orton, then a big long match with Triple H at King of the Ring. TV defense against Jeff Hardy. Is that the latter match? It is, so that's a very memorable match. And then a draw with Angle on a SmackDown, and then finally a Rock Angle Taker triple threat at Vengeance in July, where Rock takes the title off of him. Where do you want to start on this one?
Big here, 2-month reign, not a single month.
Whoa, they're getting longer.
Yeah, these gargantuan title reigns, man, it's crazy.
This also is the only time, right, the Taker holds this belt as well. So another one where I'd say, like, I remember Taker with that belt. I don't know if you're the same.
Out of the matches that are here on my screen, I don't know why I said on my screen, but out of the matches that are here, I remember the Taker Triple H one at King of the Ring. I remember that being very like bloody. They want to kill each other over that belt type thing. I of course remember the ladder match with Jeff because that is the I think that's been referred to as like the Jeff star making feud or whatever.
100%. I can't imagine these short matches with RVD and Orton are bad.
I can't imagine they're bad, but I also can't imagine they're much.
No,
Like, I
I agree.
mean, O2 Orton for 5 minutes sounds kind of meh, but O2 RBD for like 6.5 minutes is like give him more time, man. Come on.
So I haven't seen this Kurt match, but I'm a big fan of Taker Kurt in general. So I imagine that match is okay. The triple threat's interesting. I think we'll talk more about the triple threat for the next reign.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this one for me like kind of probably pivots on the Jeff match. I think we're sort of on the B-A boundary, depending on how much value you put on that Hardy match. Would be where I'm at.
Immediately, I'm like not a ton of value in that because I think Jeff probably gets himself over anyways. He doesn't need the Undertaker to make him or something. In fact, it's 2002 here. If you want to look at when Jeff Hardy really starts to get taken in that company, at least, like
6 years later.
Yeah, it's way down the line. This is not a star-making feud. This is a feud that says, hey, maybe someday, eventually, this guy could be a star.
Yeah. Oh, it's hot though. I mean, the actual piece of content that's there is incredibly strong, in my opinion.
It is. You're right. Jeff does get a lot out of it. It's just
at a glance here, I'm just gonna have a look down. I might pitch that. Oh, there's a lot more matches coming. I might pitch that as probably one of the contenders for like the best WWE title match that year.
2002.
There is a lot of matches coming, to be fair.
There are a lot more, yeah. But I probably, just looking at the names, oh my god, what is that Big Show one? We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
I have just seen something insane. Yeah, I think you're probably right, insanely enough. God. I don't even know where I'd put this.
If you're because I'm on the BA borderline, so if you're happy with B, I think we can just go B.
That's pretty much where I am. I'm about B.
But I would say higher than Hogan. Is that fair?
Yeah, it's a higher B than Hogan. I think. Okay. We got it. We need S+, S-, A+, A-, B+, B-. Come on.
So this Rock reign then starts in the triple threat. He has another triple threat against Brock and Triple H at an event called Global Warning in Melbourne, Australia. Global Warning in Melbourne, Australia. And then he fights in SummerSlam against Brock, which is a match I think you're going to have a lot to say about by the sounds of things. This is another month-long title reign. But he has that big Australia match, which I'm going to immediately say as the kind of business booker man that, hey, that's a big statement match. He's The Rock. He's a big star, right? Going out to Australia, having a big main event is at least one feather in the cap. I do think it's funny how he has 3 matches here. 2 of them are triple threats. Yeah, I mean, they're very clever with The Rock, always, right? Yeah, I mean, I feel like you have a lot to say about that SummerSlam match, so why don't you fill your boots?
Unfortunately, I would have saved that for Brock's
reign. Sure, we can save it for
Brock. It's more about Brock.
What do you want to talk about with this reign, then?
Good question.
Yeah. Or are we just putting it in C and calling it a day?
It's tough because, I mean, the Global Warning event wasn't broadcast. It was a house
show. Was it? Okay,
in Australia. Because they just did like a tour there. Maybe it did end up on TV or something, but it says event, not TV. So, yeah, it does specify TV show. Cage Match does. That just says event. So I don't think it was televised in any way. So what you've got is him winning it in that triple threat event, and then the SummerSlam match, which I think is more of a plus for Lesnar than it is for Rock. So I don't even. Do I dare say? Oh, what happened?
You're we're not getting all of your packets here.
I can hear that.
Yeah.
There we go. Maybe.
No, you're still sounding a bit robot-y, friend.
Yeah, as you are for me. So I don't know.
The Discord call.
It is.
Well, the good thing about this is that you can edit this out.
Hell yeah, we can.
Here, hold on.
Is that gonna outbound packet loss rate 50%? Why? Stop doing that. Stop it. If I just keep yelling at it, it'll eventually fix itself, right?
You might be right. Here, I can change our region. Maybe that'll help. Hello.
Yeah, that looks much better.
Okay, cool. All
right.
Yeah. So, why don't you start your whole spiel about global warming again?
Yeah. So that doesn't even look like an event to me. Like, Cage Match specifies TV shows, pay-per-view, and then that just says event. So really what you've got is the triple threat where he wins it, and then the Brock... I must have said the Brock Lesnar match.
Which I say that all the time. I used to do that all the time.
Brock versus Lesnar.
Yeah, I used to do that all the time, man. Yeah, so I mean, I guess we should give Brock some credit for this SummerSlam match, regardless of what you're going to say about it. But I guess,
he does play his role.
And yeah, I think I'm happy to just throw this in C and be done with it if that's where you are as well.
I think it's lower than the Triple H one in C,
okay,
though.
Sure, I'm fine with that. I'll check it in. Okay, C tier for the Rock reign. Okay, Brock Lesnar then. This is a long reign. So he starts at the SummerSlam match. No contest with The Undertaker at Unforgiven. No Mercy, also Unforgiven, inside Hell in a Cell, which he wins. 2-on-1 handicap match as Brock and Heyman take on Edge at Rebellion, which up until now is a pay-per-view I didn't know existed. Then he has no contest with Rey Mysterio on TV. Beats Eddie Guerrero on TV, and then finally loses the title at Survivor Series to The Big Show. So the first real substantial reign we've looked at, I think, today. He goes from SummerSlam to Survivor Series. He has defense pretty much on every pay-per-view. There's only one belt still at this point, right? So you'd expect him to be defending it on every pay-per-view. And actually, it's close, isn't it? Isn't it at Survivor Series that the title gets? Oh no, it's not, is it? Because Survivor Series is the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure SummerSlam, Brock wins the belt, and then they do an angle on Raw that next night where Stephanie signs Brock exclusively to SmackDown.
Gotcha.
And they're like, Raw for like a week or two is like, well, what do we do now? We got no belts. Until Eric makes the one. I don't know exactly when that is. It'll probably flash up on the screen right now. I'll make myself do that work.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. That the other belt does exist during this reign. So
I'd say a pretty impressive slew of pay-per-view defenses done on his part.
It's really weird that when in the time that they only have the one belt, it's like a whole bunch of nothing kind of holdover reigns, and then the moment there's two belts, it's like, oh wait, there's content again for all this. This is like interesting stuff.
Well, you said I think for some people the belt changing hands is the content. This sort of longer reign is for when you haven't got people you want to have the belt on. Do you know what I mean? Like well, let's give Rock a reign, and let's give Hogan a reign, and let's give Taker a reign. Whereas later in the year, it's like, well, we've just got Brock, so let's keep it on Brock.
We've got Brock and whoever Brock is feuding with.
Yeah. So first of all, let's start with the SummerSlam match because I've been hyping you up to talk about it all for a while now. So go ahead.
Because it is ridiculously fun. The crowd is so hot. It's New York. They're smart as hell. They know The Rock is not sticking around. He's going to Hollywood. We don't like him. We hate him, in fact. They boo The Rock out of the building. It's this big, like, groundswell of support for this young guy to knock off, like, an idol of pro wrestling. Just knock it off the idol and shatter it onto the floor. Big, like, youth movement vibes. He's, like, 22 or something. He looks like a beast in it. The match itself is fine. Like, I mean, it's a Rock main event. Like, what do you really want from it? But I think the crowd playing into it and kind of the greater narrative around it is, I think, gives it quite a bit. They didn't expect, I don't think, The Rock to be booed quite so heavily. They expected, like, maybe closer to a 50-50. And it's just not. They are not interested in seeing him win at all. Yeah, it's a really fun watch, honestly. Very, very rowdy. Like the when he wins that belt, yeah, it feels like an end of year show. Like it feels like we did it. It's Christmas. Yeah. We have made it.
Payoff.
Yeah, exactly. Big payoff. Like we did it. We're all gonna be okay now. We're out of the weeds.
I don't remember the Undertaker stuff, but I can't imagine it not being pretty substantial. Those two have pretty good chemistry when they get a chance to, and one of them isn't injured. The Edge match is given like a lot of time. Do you know about the? Have you seen this Big Show match? Because I don't remember this Big Show match at all. But it's 4 minutes, which is crazy.
So the Survivor Series one, that's when Heyman turns on Lesnar.
Oh yes,
decides the Big Show, because as they had played up in the months around this, especially with him fighting like Taker and stuff like that, Brock was like, "No, I'm my own man. I don't need you to like stew over me and like handle my business for me. I can do this. I'm the champion." Which pisses Paul Heyman off because he's like, "I made you. I can make somebody else," which he jumps to Big Show to do. So it's really not a match; it's an angle to get to a match down the line.
Seems kind of based on. This is definitely feeling like at least like an A level reign.
Oh, I think for sure. Like this first Lesnar run is awesome. So much so that I didn't even realize he lost it in this period. I thought he might have just had it the whole time.
There's so much here. Like you've talked about the Brock match, the Big Show angle seems really cool. There's the Undertaker stuff in there. It just seems like a good reign. I think there's nothing here that makes me think S though. I don't think it necessarily transcends. I don't know if you're the same.
I would probably agree with an A. The only thing I was going to mention is might be cool to see that Lesnar Guerrero TV title match. Just knowing what's coming in about 2 years.
Yep. Under like a year and a bit.
Yeah, you're right. Like a year and like a month, 2 months.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, Eddie really blew up in that company so fast.
Okay, so we're happy with A? First A tier reign on Brock?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, let's move on to the Big Show then. Wins in that Survivor Series match, then has a TV defense against Edge and a TV defense against the Fabulous Moolah.
The Fabulous Moolah.
Before losing it to Kurt Angle at Armageddon. Right. First thing I want to say is that I do think the angles surrounding Show and Heyman are really good.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I know.
I think we're going to be leaning low on this reign, but I want to defend it for a second.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, look at these.
Yeah.
I don't exactly know why they never got around to doing. I was about to say Brock Lesnar for the Brock versus Lesnar all-time feud. Why they never went on with doing like a rematch for Show Lesnar. I know they do a non-title at the Rumble, I want to say. It's weird that they never got back to a title match. I would have, if you had just asked me, I would be like, absolutely, that's what they did for like the winter. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that at all. It's only a month long, this reign.
It's got a match with the Fabulous Moolah in it.
Ooh. End of 2002 might be around the time when Heyman loses the book for SmackDown.
Right.
So
that's why plans might change.
His Big Show is his boy, as we've historically seen. I'm gonna flash up just different images of those two together. There they all are. Yeah, no, they do this a lot. He really likes Big Show. So yeah, I could definitely see like Vince coming back in and being like, "Why you have the belt on Paul? Oh my god!
What have you been doing, Paul?
Yeah, what are you doing over here? Put it on Kurt. Good God."
Which, fair enough. to be fair,
wildly based. Like what the hell?
So again, I think we're actually verging on F with this reign, but I would pitch for C just because I think the Paul Heyman Big Show angles are fun enough to save it from going to F.
But they don't even appear to do very much with it.
They don't. I'm not saying it's good. I just think it's like it's not so atrociously bad that there's nothing good there. I think that like there's some fun stuff towards the start, and also like I'm sure the angle match is fine. I would say low true. C would be my.
I would
pitch.
agree.
Okay.
The lowest of our C's. He's somehow lower than The Rock.
He will be the lowest C, I would imagine, by the end of this. Okay, this angle reign then. So he beats Big Show. He loses to Benoit by DQ. Then they have their match at the Rumble. Then he has a really short match with Brock. And then finally there's the big Brock Mania match.
So quickly, Angle Benoit is awesome.
Yep.
You would expect that. It is awesome. As is Lesnar Kurt at the Mania.
This is a tremendous reign, for sure.
The TV one here, Kurt Brock, that goes a minute 17.
Yep.
That is Kurt's neck is broken.
Yep.
It has leaked. The dirt sheets know this match is booked. So everybody's like, okay, Kurt's gonna drop the belt before Mania. They'll do Brock somebody else at Mania. Maybe Brock Benoit or something like that. Who knows? Kurt comes out.
Sorry, go ahead. Finish your thing first.
Kurt comes out, hits a little prayer thing, like, please, dear God, don't let me die right now. Let me get through this and out to the other side. Brock comes down. He starts beating up Angle a bit. And then Brock is like, wait, what the fuck? And everybody doesn't really know what the hell's going on. Then another Kurt Angle comes out from under the ring, rolls up Brock, and wins his belt. That's the Eric Angle angle, where Eric Angle is dressed up as Kurt, and they dupe him. Which is awesome. Some great stuff.
How
with, like,
does that
working
land?
The sheets in there too.
Okay.
Everybody knows he's hurt. Yeah, I think it's a good little, like, bit. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, you've got the Benoit match in there as well, and I want to bring out that, like you said, Kurt was hurt, and he's still hurt. And like you said, his neck's broken going into Mania, and he works a 21-minute match. And not only does he work the match, but also at one point, Brock, as you know, historically people know, gets hurt because he tries to do the shooting star press and he lands awfully. And at that point, Kurt decides, fuck it, I'm going to have to keep the belt, and pins him, right? So if Brock was so hurt that he couldn't finish the match, Kurt would have been willing to keep the belt, which is an incredible thing to do. This is a tremendous looking reign. I'm close to S on this. I think it's at least high A. I think it's a really strong reign for me.
It's definitely high A. It's definitely higher than the Brock I think.
I guess the question is it trans? Because there's, I mean, it's got a lot. I guess maybe it's a length thing. Is there enough there given its length? Is it that banger? I mean, I guess it depends on how good. Because I've seen the Angle match, the Benoit Rumble match, but I don't think it's like an all-time classic or anything. As much as I like the Mania match, it's also not a classic. So maybe it's just high A.
I think it probably is high A. I mean, I cheated a little bit. I went ahead to Kurt's other reign just to check it really quickly, because I was like, is this... Because to me, it's like Kurt Angle with that belt in this time period, with those two boys around him right there. It's like an iconic look, iconic period. Very well remembered, very well loved. I think the stuff building into Mania 19 is the stuff that people remember more. But I think on paper, his second reign
better. Are you gonna say? Reign. Wow. Well, we'll get to that. We'll get
to that maybe.
We're agreed on high A on this one though.
Definitely, yeah. High A.
Okay.
A, B, and S. Yeah.
So then Lesnar wins it at Mania. Then he beats John Cena Backlash. I remember that one. He has a stretcher match with the Big Show. There's the match
there it is.
at Judgment Day. Then he beats Big Show. No, it's a no contest with Big Show on TV, and then a DQ win over Big Show on TV. There are all the matches with the Big Show that you were looking for. Before finally getting to Vengeance, where he fights Big Show and Angle's back, and he's fighting at Vengeance for the title, and then Angle will pick up the win in a no DQ triple threat and take the title back in July. So, substantive reign, mostly pay-per-view defenses here from Brock. Big Show feud in the middle of it. Cena match was good, not their best match, but a good match.
I like putting the stretcher on that on the Judgment Day 03 match.
Yep.
This feels like that is kind of based. That's all I've got to say. It feels kind of based.
I think this reign very much turns on this Big Show feud. So, do you remember if it was any good?
I don't remember if it's any good. I know the setup to it, and the fact that I have never heard anybody be like, yo, these are like pretty cool. Somebody should watch these or something. The fact I've never heard that from anybody leads me to think that the matches aren't very good. Which, I mean...
Are we saying like B for this then?
I would say B.
Yeah.
I would say like a low B, but...
The lowest B we have right now?
Think so. The second Brock reign. It's literally just like beats Kurt, fights kind of a filler fight with Cena because Cena's not there yet, really. Does the Lesnar stuff, and then we're right back into Kurt Brock.
Does the Lesnar stuff, you say?
Brock versus Lesnar.
Okay, second Kurt reign then that Tucker hyped up. Let's take a look. So wins in the triple threat, beats Brock at SummerSlam in a very long match. And no contest with Taker. Again, I'm a big fan of Taker and Kurt together. I think they have really good chem. And then finally 60-minute Iron Man match on SmackDown where Brock reclaims the title 5-4. I'd say I don't remember that match, but it seems really cool. Have you seen that Iron Man?
I'm starting to remember pieces of it. I want to say that's the match where it's 5-4, and right as they're coming down to it, Kurt has Brock in the ankle lock for like the last minute, and he just will not tap out, and Kurt loses because of that. I don't remember 59 minutes of it. I remember one, and it's a cool 1 minute.
I think there's a lot here. I think they do a really good job of like picking the best stuff to go with. But I think a combination of like the story of the first reign and how much was going into it, I would say this is a worse reign than the first reign. I think the first reign, just because of the story of the Mania match and how much Kurt had to go through for it, and just the way it was structured and built. Like this is kind of like this is a nice little banger 2-month reign, month and a half reign. Yeah. But I think the first one, like, there's a lot. I can peg a lot on the first one and say, man, he worked with a broken neck. He was willing to keep the belt. Some great matches and great stories in there. Whereas this one is just like, it is some good matches. Like, if they're great matches, but I don't think any of these are among Kurt's best matches anyway, right? So I'm not saying it's like this. This feels like a high B, maybe low A match reign to me, personally.
Think you're probably right. The thing that I'm interested in the most is why I haven't heard anybody talk about that SummerSlam 03 match. I've actually never heard of this SummerSlam 03 match, like ever. I didn't know this happened or existed until
right now.
Like, well, a little bit earlier from now, but yeah, like looking at it, I was like, that's weird. Why have I never heard about that one? Everybody talks about the Mania 19 one till like the cows come home, but this one is.
We're also, it's worth saying, because I have some controversial opinions on Kurt Angle.
Oh.
There is a good chance that we're already starting to see him get pretty washed in 03.
Late 03, he's coming back from the neck surgery. So yeah, I mean, if you don't think he's very good in like 04 and stuff like that, then this
it's really 06 where I can confidently say he was washed. Like 06 is where I'll say he's defo washed.
There's gonna be people so mad about that, dude.
Yeah,
like
I know.
Everybody, especially right now, everybody loves Perk Angle. TNA was his best work. Everybody, he was the greatest of all time in TNA. Just nobody was watching.
I will give him credit, and I've always said this. Even into his old age, there are some things he was incredibly good at, and he had the fundamentals down really, really well. But no, I mean, it was very clear in 06 that Kurt Angle was not an elite level worker anymore. To me.
I would say, thinking it's, oh man, I'm thinking it's either low B or high C. I don't know.
Really? So you're even lower than me. So I guess
actually, it's got that Iron Man.
Yeah.
It can't be. Maybe like
it's got a
a
20-minute taker match in there that can't be bad because those two are good together.
No, yeah. And there's another Lesnar match in there too.
So let's split the different. Well, should we put it above the Hogan reign or below the Hogan reign? Your call.
I think it might even be above that Taker reign.
Okay, sure.
Like if I look back here at the Taker reign really quickly.
I'm really high on the Jeff Hardy match. I think higher than
that's fair.
But I think I'm happy to put him above. I'm happy to put it there if that's where you want to put it.
Yeah, I think that's about where I'd put it. Yeah.
Okay. So this last Brock reign then beats Kurt in the Iron Man match, beats Paul London on TV, a Biker's Chain match with The Undertaker at No Mercy.
No Mercy 03.
Beats Chris Benoit on TV, Shannon Moore, just love squashing cruiserweights in this era.
They do.
Then they have this base as fuck era gem against Hardcore Holly at the Rumble.
I can't believe that goes 6 minutes. They really were like begrudgingly running this match. They were like, I guess this is what we should run now.
And then, of course, a legendary final match as he loses the title to Eddie Guerrero at No Way Out, thanks to interference from Goldberg. Where to start? This is quite the reign.
Yeah, this is really awesome. Like as I'm reading it here, like because you've got the Iron Man, obviously. I've not seen them, so forgive me, but I'm sure him killing London and then Moore later on is probably so cool.
Assumedly, the Biker's Chain match is some sort of strap match, right?
I'm trying to think if I've ever seen that match, and I think I have at some point when I was much younger. I just remember like them Undertaker having like the chain wrapped around his hand and throwing his punches a whole bunch at Brock. Because I don't think it was like a strap match. No, I think it was like a chain
On a
like wrapped
pole.
around your fist or something. Yeah,
Okay.
like maybe on a pole. I don't know, but yeah, like I don't remember it being connecting the two of them. Um,
Okay. Um,
Maybe I'm wrong.
Surely this Benoit match on TV in the pavilion is a banger. I can see no world in which it is not.
No, it's probably awesome.
Yeah.
Like let's be real. It's Lesnar, it's Benoit. They do good stuff together.
There's also there's nobody better to be in that Guerrero spot than Brock Lesnar. There's nobody better.
Oh yeah.
He kills it.
And I think maybe even to a certain degree, I mean that stuff is all built up through the London and more squashes, and even to a lesser degree, like the Hardcore Holly match.
I
like,
unironically like this Hardcore Holly match. They build it up really well. It's like he's the one guy that like gets under Brock's skin, and like they're just there. It's nasty. It's brutal. I think it's a shoot. I think Holly dies. I think he's like literally dead after that.
Legitimately
match.
died.
Yeah,
He was never seen again.
This is a great reign. This is another one where I'm like on the border of S with it because it's so good. I think maybe again it doesn't quite make it to S, but it's really good.
Yeah, I think it's definitely higher than his first reign.
Oh,
I don't know if it's higher than the first Kurt one. The first Kurt one in this era. I guess we should have specified that, but
should we I'm happy to put it between those two in A then if that's where you are. Cool.
Other way, but yeah. I guess it doesn't matter.
What do you mean other way? Oh, you're right. Sorry. I just forgot. I just got confused. I meant to put it the other way.
I was just like, I guess it doesn't matter because really, it's three pictures of the same guy who knows what any of them mean aside from us.
Well, we do, and everyone can go back to the start of the video and see what order they were in.
That's true. Good show.
Okay, so this Eddie reign fairly short, but there's a lot here. So he beats Brock in February, beats Chavo. Oh, I was skipping right to the Mania match, but here's a Chavo match on television, no contest. Not doesn't beat him, no contest. Beats Angle at Mania, beats Ray on TV, beats Triple H by DQ on a Raw, beats Booker by DQ on a SmackDown, then beats JBL at Judgment Day, great match. Loses to JBL at Judgment Day by DQ, great match, and then the Texas Ballroom, also a great match. So, which is where JBL finally wins the titles. Yep. So it's about a 4-month reign, which is actually fairly substantial, but it's either side of Mania, so there's a lot going on. So it feels a bit short, but there's a lot here. There's a lot here, and some of it I've forgotten. All of this TV stuff is sort of lost to my memory. So I'll quickly talk about the pay-per-view stuff, and if you remember any of the TV stuff, you can kind of chime in on that. But like the Angle match at Mania is okay. I think it's a good match. We can talk maybe more about that if you have different thoughts. The two JBL matches are great. They're genuinely great matches. They're heated. They're well structured. They're perfect Eddie Guerrero matches in the sense that like he pulls you in and then he really delivers. And then, obviously the No Way Out match we've already talked about. So, yeah. Do you have any other thoughts on these?
Not exactly. I'm pretty much with you on all this stuff. Like, I mean, the JBL stuff is awesome. I don't exactly remember the Mania match against Kurt all that well.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It feels like something I should remember a little bit more. I know the only TV defense that I concretely like know in my head is the one against Triple H, because that's got a lot of like fuck you Triple H energy to it, like a lot of we can't let this guy win here. I remember it being fine. I'm like, as I think about it, I'm like, yeah, it was like all right, I guess. Yeah, it's got a lot of the strong stuff. The pay-per-view defenses, at least, are really solid.
Yeah, I think
TV stuff.
There are 3 great matches in here. This is a really strong reign. My instinct is this goes between the Brock reigns in our tier list. Like it's a very strong A level reign.
In my head, like all of the TV matches could be like really good though.
Yep.
Like him and Chavo for 16 minutes. him and Ray for 18 minutes,
Yep.
him and Triple H for 14, and then
And
him
Booker.
and Booker for 16 and a half.
Yep.
Like, those all sound awesome.
Yep.
Like, I'd watch all of those. That may be... Ooh. That may be the highest A. I don't know.
I don't think it's better than the Angle reign. I think maybe it's better than the other Brock one. But I still think the other Brock one's probably better. Because, the JBL stuff is really good, though, so I don't know. I'm a little bit on the edge. I definitely think that first Angle reign is better. Let me just remind myself of that first Angle reign.
That's where I went immediately. I was like, let me see what
so a lot of what going into the Angle stuff is the shoot stuff, right? Of him working the back half of it with a broken neck.
Yeah.
Having a pretty good Mania match as well. And then the idea that he was willing to keep the title if he had to. I think this Angle reign's definitely better than the Eddie one, because even though there's good stuff in there, I think it's just not, it doesn't quite surmount that. So, but if you preferred it to the second Brock reign, then or the third Brock reign, it's the third Brock reign. Then,
I think I probably do. Okay. I think
it's also worth saying this is where we can bring in some cultural significance. Is he's a smaller guy, and it definitely had a big impact on the company afterwards.
Yeah, to be fair, all three of Brock's reigns could in my head be one reign or something like that. The Eddie one though is such a special thing that happens. A gift, if you will, genuinely.
Okay. Yeah. You want to move on to the JBL reign?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so here I think this is going to be one of our big discussions.
9 months.
So long ass reign. So he beats Guerrero finally in the bull rope match. Beats Spike Dudley in a match that I remember. That's okay. Has another match against Guerrero in a steel cage, which is great. Good match. JBL Undertaker at SummerSlam. The TV's great. The match is okay. Last ride match then at No Mercy against Undertaker. Fun match. Hardcore Holly match that I don't remember at all.
No, I don't at all. It's weird he even got near the belt again, I think. It's really weird.
It's really still alive. The Booker match is good at Survivor Series, although a little bit forgettable. And then this Fatal 4-Way at Armageddon is fantastic. Excellently built. Really well.
All-time JBL angle.
Yeah. Then Kurt Angle on TV by DQ. Beats up Shannon Moore as is tradition. And then Kurt Angle and the Big Show triple threat at Rumble's okay. Steel cage match with the Big Show at No Way Out is great.
Barbed wire steel cage, yeah, that's awesome.
Yes, it was a barbed wire steel cage. I think we didn't just add that in our save, did we? Oh no, there it is.
I think we did. The one that I was thinking of was we did Ray JBL in 04, and instead of the Texas bull rope, it was Texas bull rope cage, which was so based. We just you're connected to each other and you're in a thing.
And then of course loses the title to Cena in obviously a massive match. Historically, that is also pretty solid content wise. All right, where to start on this one? There's a lot. Okay, so I'll get this out of the way early. There's a lot of dead TV in this period.
Yeah. Mainly I'm looking month. Let's see here. What is that? That's June or so to. Well, no, you've got the steel cage match in there, so maybe August. Well, but then you hit November or December, and you've got I guess August to November. It's a lot of just stuff going on, doing things to keep the content going. And
they very much commit, I think, to the heel territory, where it's we just hate this guy. We're tuning in every week to see who's gonna stop this evil man. And that
he can't keep getting away with.
He can't keep getting away with this. Yeah, really, good way of putting it. And I think that has sort of a dampening effect on your mood when you watch the show.
Oh, for sure.
But I also know I'm looking through this again. Every time I always want to criticize this JBL reign because it feels like it should be bad. But actually, when you actually look through it like this, there's a lot of great angles in here.
I don't think it's
great matches as well.
I don't think it's below B. Like if I'm just honest, I don't think it can be. Like I look at the things that we've got in C, and I'm just like, this is better than that. Like I think for sure.
How much? So here's a difficult topic. How much do we want to consider? Because this doesn't age. It's not so bad here as it does get in other JBL angles, but we can't ignore that there's like a racist undertone to some of these angles.
There is, and if I felt kind of weird about the Triple H thing being very
misogynistic,
misogynistic, we should definitely probably take that into account.
Weirdly, it's kind of weird that it doesn't get that bad here compared to when he does the race stuff for some reason.
And to be fair to it, though, JBL is supposed to be a bad guy versus Triple H, who's a hero. We're supposed to cheer for Triple H beating women.
That's a good point. And although it is worth saying that JBL wins in this period, right? So it's like, I agree with you. That's like, but if you think about it, the booking is like JBL is like right, I guess, in this, because he only gets beaten by the white man from Boston, not by any girl.
True. What's going on here, folks? White guy from Boston. Good God. Boston.
The peak is got to be the Fatal 4-Way for me, which is great, is fantastic. I guess
for me, it's either. I think there's like 3.
The Taker stuff on TV is great.
To me, it's like the Texas Bull Rope is awesome.
Yep.
The cage with Eddie is awesome. That Fatal 4-Way is awesome. The barbed wire steel cage is pretty fun.
It's great.
He's trapped in there with Big Show in a cage.
We should at this stage mention the cabinet, which we're huge fans of, obviously.
Oh yeah. The cabinet's all around here. Yeah. He's probably winning almost all of these through like bullshit means. Other people coming in doing things for him.
It's a nice collection of goons as well.
It is. They're very goon like.
The feud with Cena as well, you know, that happens before the loss, so we can count that. Like the blowing, like the fucking evil overlord blowing up the US belt with the fucking gadget thing is tremendous.
He puts it in the trash can, right? Then the trash can
blows up. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, what
and you know, we shouldn't ignore that. Like he goes through this massive transformation, and presentation wise, like he's so good. Like the limousine, the Mania entrance with the Okada Bills rating from the sky. It's just it's so good. And I think we are, but you know, look, we're biased. I think we can hold that in there. But I do think that there's enough good in there for it to make it into A, or are we saying maybe it's a high B? It's also like he is the guy who loses the title to John Cena, who's like the guy for 10 years afterwards. And
he does help make John.
Yeah.
It's a very long reign, but to its credit, there's enough highlights in there where it doesn't necessarily seem so long.
Although, again, if we put ourselves into the period, there are times where it feels like a long reign. And it
probably
is
because
JBL.
There's like, I was gonna say it's probably because there's like all these other guys on the roster who you look at and you're like, that would be way better. Let's be real.
Although they tried that the next year with Booker and it wasn't better. So, which we'll talk about in the next video.
I don't even know. That's tough. I think if it's A, it can't be above.
I think if it's A, it's at the bottom.
You think it's at the total bottom?
Of A. Because I think it could be B. So if it could be B, it's got to be at the bottom of A. If it goes there. I'm actually maybe leaning towards top of B. Because I think
that first Brock reign is pretty weak, though, like comparatively.
That's what remind myself. Because we could move the Brock reign, to be fair.
We could. We can move things? Oh, my.
Taker
the Big Show reign.
Taker Hell in a Cell, 20-minute match with Edge, and then the Big Show stuff, which is quite a fun build. I don't know.
Eddie on TV.
Yeah, this is a good
the Rock win, which the Rock win is like such a big moment. Like it's literally a 22-year-old who is debuted in the company earlier that 4 months prior. 4 months prior after Mania.
Looking at that, my mind's sort of made up. I feel like that's better. I think this JBL thing should go at the top of B. But
type B, top B, top boy.
Yeah. All right. I don't know that he could creep in bottom of A. It is. It is. There are some great matches in this reign and some great angles, and it overachieves massively. He's a great character. He's such a memorable champion. He's the last champion with that belt, and he makes Cena. Does he sneak into A? Your call. And he's either bottom A or top B. Your call, which.
The really unfortunate fact I think about this JBL reign is that the bad washes away. There's probably so much bad stuff going on in this reign that I just don't remember or it's just never talked about because it's not good.
Yeah.
The stuff that sticks out obviously is the really cool stuff. Like
it's also worth mentioning that
with Eddie
to some degree, like I get that like Brock's decent TV wrestling, but like I would much rather have JBL on screen for long periods of time than Brock, right? If we're being honest. I think JBL kind of makes watchable TV in a way.
He's also this entire time straddling this insane line of like, I'm somehow like both a giant like warrior badass lariat throwing guy who's gonna like bleed all over the place and still find a way to get it done, and I'm a living meme. I can't fight my way out of a cardboard box. I need Orlando Jordan to help me dress in the morning, or else I'd show up in my underwear. Like,
and he does it great. He does a great job.
He does. It's a hard line to straddle, so much so that like I literally don't even exactly know what to call the JBL character. There's like a lot of different pieces to it that make it a pretty special thing. So maybe it is low A. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going low A?
Yep.
All right. I told you that would be the controversial one. Right, on to another controversial one then. John Cena beats JBL at WrestleMania, beats JBL in an I Quit, great match. Beats Muhammad Hassan in the draft show, beats Jericho and Christian in a triple threat at Vengeance, beats Carlito on Raw, beats Jericho at SummerSlam, beats Jericho again on Raw and sends him away from the company till late 2007. Yep.
Garbage can.
Loses to Angle by DQ. Unforgiven. This is a great match. Beats Eric Bischoff on Raw. Then beats Angle and Michaels at Taboo Tuesday. Beats Angle at Survivor Series, finally ending that feud. Although they do have a triple threat match with Chris Masters on the next Raw. And then finally survives the Elimination Chamber with Carlito, Masters, Kane, Angle, and Michaels before getting cashed in on for the very first time by Money in the Bank. Okay. Yeah, where do you want to start on this one? I have thoughts on this reign. I have a lot of thoughts on this reign.
To me, the JBL stuff is all really good.
Yep.
The Jericho stuff, I really only remember him putting Jericho in a garbage truck because it's funny.
Yep.
I don't know about any of this kind of in between stuff at all. Like up until basically after that loser leaves town match to the Chamber, I have no clue about any of these matches. I'm not sure I've even ever seen them.
Okay. So the JBL match, the second one's great. Genuine great match. The I Quit one. Honestly, it's character defining for Cena in a lot of ways. The cash-in is obviously huge. Big historical moment that it can only really happen with John Cena being the person that he is at that time.
Yeah, the dynamics out of the cash-in. Because, I mean, that could be such like a flat thing, but specifically those two guys in those two spots.
After the Chamber as well, yeah.
Which, to be fair to them, too, this could, in theory, be not that notable, but they keep going with it, right? They play on that for like the next 3-4 years with Edge and Cena specifically.
The Jericho stuff is well structured. Like, it's a nice feud. It builds and it kind of pays off at the end.
Feels fairly low stakes though the whole time.
Also,
like Jericho's got no real chance.
They're also not very good in those matches.
I'm shocked.
Shocked. And then the Angle stuff is actually quite good, but almost has the opposite problem where they structure it quite well in terms of like building to John finally winning. And I think they do a pretty good job of that in considering that John's got the belt the whole time. Like, he never actually loses the belt. But again, I just think that was probably a one and done feud, and the one match would have been enough, and it overextends its welcome. So I think the JBL match is great. I think the cash in is great. This is the title reign that turns people against John Cena.
Yeah, understandable. Looking at it on paper, understandable. What are they doing?
By the end of this title reign, John Cena is the polarized, problematic fave that he would be for the rest of his career.
The problematic fave. They canceled John Cena. Oh my god.
And I think that means that this reign has a massive black mark next to it. That there's some really great stuff in here, but actually, when we think of it contextually, this is the reign that not ruined John Cena, but changed the course of history. Arguably in a negative way, arguably in a positive way, but definitely, I think we can all agree that John Cena would be in a better position had the fans not completely split on him by the end of this reign. I think.
Which is so nuts to me that it's so early. It's so early that they split, and they're just gonna stay split for the next decade. God, so wild. I pretty much agree with you though. Looking at it, it's I know the JBL stuff at the top. It's all pretty good stuff. The I Quit match, I agree with you on that. It's the one that I think of. I think actually, because it's very John Cena to go into an I Quit match and not say I quit.
Very bloody, I think.
I don't know. Yeah, that seems about right. The Jericho stuff I remember, but not any of the wrestling. I just remember the funny visual of Jericho being forced into a garbage truck. And then it's the Chamber. So I probably agree with you in terms of 90% of this reign is white noise just occurring.
Yeah.
And you're okay.
I think also if you look at Cena over the 2 years from 21 to 23, very much over the course of those 2 years, they have a few statement wins where he's oh yeah, I'm here and I'm the guy, and almost none of them are here.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it's Angle and that's it, really, and that's not even on a match. I guess it's Survivor Series, but
why is Daivari the ref?
Daivari's managing Kurt Angle at that point, I think.
Daivari's managing Kurt Angle?
Oh yeah, have you not seen this angle where Kurt Angle?
I've never seen this at all.
Kurt Angle starts feuding with Cena, and they're booing Cena, and so they put Daivari with him, and they start making Kurt say these completely ridiculous things in an attempt to get. He literally gets an interview and he says,
saying,
he literally says in a promo, "I'm not a big fan of the black people." I said it. That's what Kurt Angle says in one of those promos.
That's crazy, man. Everybody knows he was trying to hit Shawn now. So, come on. What is that? We know you're lying.
So, I just think there is an opportunity, I feel to double down on Cena in this period. If you're going to do this reign, you don't do it like this. And I think that's why I didn't really know where I was on the tier list, but I think I've settled on low C on this one. I don't think the great in here redeems it enough.
It's so weird. I'm trying to think. I'm is this better or worse than the Big Show reign?
I think it's better than the Big Show reign.
Because the Big Show reign is, I guess it's both nothing and bad. The Big Show reign is nothing. But
I said low C, but I actually also think it's better than the Rock reign. I think it's probably there below the Triple H reign. Because remember, there is that I Quit match. There's still the cash in. I don't think it's. I do think there's enough there.
You get a lot out of it for the future Cena reign.
Yeah.
With the Edge cash in and stuff like that. I don't. What is that Rock reign again? Hold on. It's been too long, folks. Okay, yeah, that Rock reign is 2 matches. So yeah, that's pretty hard to argue.
One of them's not even broadcast.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's 3 matches. You count that one. I just wasn't.
Yeah.
Which I guess we should. It's a title defense. It's on the list.
No, we wouldn't count later house show defenses. I don't think we should count that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I maybe agree with you. Above Rock, but below
Triple H reign.
Triple H. Yeah, because the Triple H reign is short. It's fine. It's a month. You can't mess that up too badly. And it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just not much.
All right, should we move on to the Edge reign?
Hell yeah.
Okay, so Edge reign, iconic cash-in, defeats Ric Flair on TV in a TLC match, and then loses to Cena at the Rumble. Not a lot to talk about here.
No.
I am going to make an early pitch for F on this one. I think that they really fucked this up. I think that, although we basically didn't change it in our series, I still think that, like, in reality, if you're going to do this, you should probably have Edge hold it to Mania and then have Cena take it back there.
Yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. I can't explain. I can't even, like, think about why you would do this like this.
It almost...
Who does Cena even fight at that Mania anyways?
Triple H.
Yeah, how is that better? Like,
I could see the argument for it, but like, if we're talking about this reign specifically, I just think it, like, it does, you could say that, like, you know, it makes Edge bitter for later, but I don't think you need that. I think this is, like, one of the most useless reigns we've had on this list. The only thing, because I don't remember this Ric Flair TLC match.
I don't either.
If the Ric Flair TLC match is incredibly based, then it probably goes up to C.
Flair's falling off the ladder, like,
I mean,
dying.
I could see it being based as fuck, but I think this is an F. I think this was bad. I think that it would have been better not doing this title reign than having done it.
Through, like, our TW series and stuff like that, which is somewhere. I don't know where that'll be. Whether it's on this channel or it's on another channel I link somewhere. Oh, I just touched my mic. Sorry about that. We've talked a lot about Money in the Bank, essentially, and it being a star-making tool, or more specifically, it not being a star-making tool. Because people who win the championship off of Money in the Bank are inherently weak champions. They don't win it when the other guy's at 100%. It's fluky. It's very... it's not even like the Royal Rumble, really, in terms of becoming a contender. The Royal Rumble is like...
It's quite the opposite. Like, if you look at the historic Money in the Bank cash-in champions, they've been very weak. Whereas historically, if you've looked at the Royal Rumble winners, they've been historically very strong in terms of, like, what they did afterwards.
Even just winning the thing itself, right? Like a ladder match is very spontaneous, I guess. And I guess maybe you go into that with the idea that anybody can win or something like that. So it's not...
That got better when they switched it to the pay-per-view. Because at Mania, it felt like a mid-card thing. Whereas with the pay-per-view, it felt like the main event. A bit more like the Rumble. So winning Money in the Bank was better after that. But it still didn't fix the problem, which is cashing in Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I don't want to really run with the Rumble comparisons too much farther, just because it's kind of no point to. But the Rumble is just so much stronger. You got to beat 29 guys. Even if you come in later, you still kind of get some of that. I think, Money in the Bank is a pretty flawed concept. This is their very first one, and it absolutely, I think, explains why this is just such a bad idea.
And it pays off for Edge, but I don't think necessarily because they did this. So, yeah. I mean, my pitch for this reign's F.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think I fully agree. It doesn't get anybody over here.
No.
Edge isn't a star until he's going to win it back in the summer. Like,
yeah.
And even then.
It's more I feel like it's more the SmackDown run where he gets to the main event, really.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like the big...
Actually, to be fair, the Foley match at Mania does a lot for him.
That's probably it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the one that makes him, because...
In this run, it probably is.
Yeah. He does do that at 22, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Instead of John, so... It's weird. It's
that match is great. That match is one of my match of the year candidates for this year.
It's almost like they did go with Edge for a second, and then they were like, "Oh wait, you're not ready."
Yeah, I think RVD
complicates
complicates things a little for him this year, but we'll talk about him soon. Okay, the second Cena run then.
Yeah.
Beats Edge again. Beats Edge again. And then beats Triple H at Mania. Beats Triple H and Edge in a absolutely fantastic Smoke and Mirrors triple threat at Backlash. One of Triple H's best ever pay-per-view main events. Then he beats Kenny.
Oh my god.
I believe Kenny's 21 years old in that match or something like that. It's crazy.
Does he kill him?
It's 8 minutes, so it doesn't kill him that hard. Then a Texas Tornado 3-on-2 handicap match where the WWE title and the IC title... Okay, so what I think this is... So Cena and RVD take on Masters, Benjamin, and Triple H, and whoever got pinned would lose their belt, because RVD's the IC title holder and Cena's the WWE title holder. So RVD gets pinned and loses his IC title. And then at One Night Stand, RVD cashes in preemptively and then gets the match against Cena for the WWE title, and he wins it.
Yeah. Quickly running through here. The Cena Triple H match at Mania, I think, is pretty meh.
It's okay, yeah. It's not what it's better than you think it is. It's better than you think it is.
That makes sense.
It's very much like a gritty match where Cena's got to overcome and survive, and it's good for that.
I very much think that's my opinion on Triple H in general. He's probably better than I think he is.
That triple threat, I want to say again, is great. Like, I think it's my WWE match of the year, that triple threat. Okay, it's really good.
I don't know that one off the top of my head, unfortunately.
It's a lot of fun.
It's probably something about me, because I don't really take multi-mans all that seriously. They don't stick out in my head.
Yeah, no, I don't tend to like them singles. Either. It's very, it very much overachieves.
Yeah. I think from there, it's weird. I don't know like much of the TV stuff, and almost all of this is on TV. So if you take out like the Backlash thing that I don't know about really that much, I'm left with the One Night Stand match, which is a lot of fun. To be fair,
it's good. I'd say probably great.
Probably, yeah. Like it's Cena in. Who says the line? Is it JBL who says it's an away game or whatever it is? It sounds like a JBL thing. But yeah, it's very much all that stuff with Cena and his. It's so weird that like I think a lot of my enjoyment of that match hinges on Cena and his ability to play to the crowd and be like, "Why don't you love me? I'm just a guy." Yeah, I don't know. I think this rank's pretty weak.
I think so too. I think it's a high C.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd agree.
I put it as the highest C that we have. Would be where I would go with it.
Yeah, it's not as long as the first one. So yeah, I think I would agree.
There's a lot of great stuff in this. Like that triple threat's great. The Triple H match overachieves. The actually I might be leaning towards B now as I say about because the triple threat's great. Triple H match is pretty good for Mania. It's main events WrestleMania, and it does a good job of doing so. That's probably the moment where Cena's like the guy, and like Cena also gets to do a WrestleMania main event where he's like the heel, and he does really well. But he's still a babyface, which isn't easy.
Yeah.
And then he has to do the RVD stuff, which again we both agree is great. Could I sell you on the lowest B?
Oh, I think it's higher than the lowest B.
Oh, you were at the highest C, and now you're even higher than the lowest B.
I started looking. How
high are you thinking? Because I can go pretty. I could go a couple spots here without.
I think it might be higher than the Hogan reign.
Yeah, I could go that. Yeah,
I think that's where I am.
We can do that. That sounds good to me. Okay, this RVD reign then. So obviously the win is iconic. He beats Edge then at Vengeance in a very, very average match. No contest with Cena on Raw, and then loses in a triple threat at SummerSlam. No, it was just on Raw.
Yes, because RVD obviously this run isn't even a month. It gets the legs cut out from under it because RVD gets caught with I don't even remember what it is. I don't think it's even. Oh, maybe it is weed. I don't know. Whatever it is, him and Sabu are in the car. They get pulled over. They've got drugs on them, and that's it for RVD.
So I think the easy answer here is this is C, but because this cuts the legs out of RVD, this is his last big WWE run, and it's pretty much over because of this, and it basically fucks ECW as well. I'm actually going to put forward an F argument here. I think not only is this reign bad, it also fucks up multiple different things. So I actually think it's potentially an F tier reign.
The way as well that they react to the reign needing to come to a close is all fucked up too.
Yeah.
They don't even really try to spin very much or try to figure out how they can. I don't know.
Although,
it just feels
actually, what I will
much
say,
like
I seem to remember enjoying the match where he loses the ECW title. Is that the one with the like motorcycle helmeted man who attacks him? Or am I thinking
that's so One Night Stand. The motorcycle man helps him win,
right?
And it's Edge.
Yeah, I'm sure one of the Bashams is the motorcycle helmet man later.
Yes, they do. They help Big Show beat him. That is on an episode of ECW.
Okay. So some of that
it's the same week that triple threat no DQ one where he loses the WWE belt. It's the next night.
Right.
They're like, give us both your belts and go home. Don't come back.
It's wild because I think that's worse for him than just taking the belts, you know? Having him, trotting him out there to lose anticlimactically rather than just stripping him of the titles is so much worse.
Yep.
So,
yeah, no, undoubtedly. If you strip him for the belts, like, I mean, there's I say this all the time, but it's like, it's such an easy path back, man. Like, I never lost those belts. I screwed myself over. You know what I mean? I didn't.
He was good in 07. Those very brief moments.
Awesome.
Yeah, he was really good in 07. We haven't mentioned that the belt changed a couple of reigns back. And I think it's somewhat relevant because I genuinely believe that the booking decisions changed because the belt looked different. And there's some people that cannot have that belt. Like, for example, I know he wasn't on the brand, but The Undertaker would never have won that belt.
Yeah, that's fair. I think, I mean, they messed up not making that just a Cena title.
I think so.
But, like, for sure.
I saw an angle recently where it's in the Kurt John feud, so, like, September of 05, where Kurt won that match at Unforgiven by DQ.
Yeah.
And so Bischoff was going to give him the WWE title, and he had
good with the spinner.
He had the Undisputed. Bischoff had the Undisputed. That was the last time he was on TV. It was like September, October of 05. He was going to give Angle the WWE title, and it was going to be the Undisputed.
So it's like they clearly at some point had the idea that, yes, this is just a Cena belt. We will go back.
Yep.
I think, to be fair, though, again, I think Kurt looks pretty all right in the spinner belt.
That makes sense.
He never had that belt, but there's definitely pictures of him like holding onto it, and I'm always like, ooh, that looks pretty cool.
It gets a lot better, I think, when they put the magnet in, which they don't do for a little while. I think they do that at No Mercy 07.
Going around.
Yeah.
That thing is just like swinging back and forth while somebody cuts a promo.
Back to this RVD right now. Are we in agreement that it's F?
Yeah, I think so. I think for certain.
Is it worse? I think it's worse than the Edge. Oh, so it's difficult because both the Edge and the RVD run, they're both saved by how they won the belt. So which victory is better? I think I lean Edge.
I think I lean RVD.
Okay, we'll put RVD ahead then if that's what you want to do. I'm down for that. Okay.
Like I think Hammerstein, the atmosphere is great. Yeah. It feels like a big underdog thing where the Edge thing is very much a I don't know, more of a heist, more of a stealing the belt type thing, where RVD calls his shot, he goes into battle on his own turf, and just wins. He just beats the guy with help from another guy, but whatever. Nobody remembers
that. Okay, Edge's second reign. Then he beats Cena and RVD in the triple threat. He loses to Cena by DQ on SNME, and then he beats Cena at SummerSlam in a very meh match, and then he loses to Cena at Unforgiven in a TLC, which is a classic.
So a lot of these that are like bookends, where a lot of the middles aren't that significant, but the wins and the losses are all pretty hot angles.
Well, the win on this one isn't very hot. This is the triple threat.
Oh, that's true. You're right. Good call.
The Cena match at SummerSlam was also quite meh. This lives or dies on that TLC.
It does.
Here's the thing. This TLC does fucking nothing for Edge at all.
No, it is brutal. It is brutal, I will say.
Actually, some cultural considerations here.
Oh, I think cultural significance.
Rated R belt.
Rated R belt,
this reign.
Iconic.
Live sex celebration, I'm pretty sure, this reign.
Yeah, I believe so.
I think that's a negative for the reign, but I like to put it out there.
Minus.
I feel like Edge gets thrown into a body of water during this feud. I think this is probably where Edge and Cena, their TV is the best.
Because it's heated now.
Yeah, and like they're having fun, but they're very comfortable now as well, I think, as main eventers. So I think they're enjoying themselves. It's quite fun. It's good TV.
The TLC at the end is probably like the only match, though.
Yeah, I think this is low C. It's just which reigns does it beat? That's where I'm at.
It's almost certainly beating the Big Show one.
Okay,
that was
I'm
like
with you.
Nothing. The Big Show one is very nothing. I have to check the Rock one because it could beat that.
Yep. The Rock one is very much
Oh, it's just two matches.
It's just the summer. I think it probably does beat the Rock one on the top of my head. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree. Probably. I think that one. Yeah. No. Let's. Yeah. I'll be real here. Edge has one match in that reign, but it's a really good.
It's a good one.
Match.
Yeah. It's better than the Rock's Brock
has
match.
2 matches, and they're not.
The Brock one's pretty good. Like we've not match wise, but for what it represents, it's pretty.
Yeah,
good.
I was gonna say I'm not about to say that like SummerSlam 02 is a classic or anything like that, but there's a lot of energy there. Like it's a lot of like, yes, give us our new champion, our new monster to take us into the future.
Okay, so Cena's final run. This is the one. I haven't looked at this today, but I have a feeling this is going to be the good one. So we've got Cena winning in the TLC. Now, when we take away all of the Edge stuff from that, and it just gets to be Cena, that's a Stone Cold classic. Edge in a steel cage, Master Lock challenge, Edge again.
Awesome.
Cena beats Edge 6 times in 2006, by the way, in singles matches for the WWE Championship. Umaga, New Year's Rev, great match. Umaga Rumble, classic. Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania is okay. I actually think it's worse than the Triple H match, but you know,
the Backlash of 7 Fatal 4-Way is
great.
Pretty heat, if I remember correctly. Right, that's the one where like the finish is like. Everybody just hits their finishes and they all die.
I think, Shawn hits a super kick on someone and he falls on someone else, that's also the one where during that show, Cena has an interview with Orton where the butt of the joke is, haha, you're gay, which, not great, but, worth putting out there. Worth
big
saying.
Pro wrestling moments.
Yeah. Like, Orton's basically like, we should work together, and Cena's like, haha, you're gay. Great Khali match. It's better than you think.
I was literally gonna say, I'm like, the Khali stuff is awesome because it's John Cena versus a giant, and that always works.
However,
always works.
Only the Extreme Rules match is better than you think. The other one's just what you think it is, and the triple threat with Umaga also just what you think it is.
I cannot believe they did that twice. Cena Khali, like I feel like it's just a one spotter. Like it's like, can John Cena beat the big, scary giant monster guy? Yes, he can. Okay.
The 5-man match of Vengeance is good. Is definitely doesn't outstay its welcome. It's perfectly booked for what it is. Bobby Lashley match at Great American Bash. It's better than you think. Shawn Spears match, I do not remember at all. That's OVW. What's going on?
OVW, Six Flags Summer Sizzler Series. Shawn Spears did it. He fought John Cena. I can't believe Shawn Spears. You know who Shawn Spears is, right?
I've heard of him. I've heard the name.
Ty Dillon.
Yeah, I was about to say, okay.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Randy Orton at SummerSlam, which is bad. Randy Orton at Unforgiven, which is good, but not exactly a classic. And then he has to give up the belt. He doesn't lose it, which is probably a big mark on the reign from a quality perspective.
Really? I don't think it's that bad.
Well, there's no great final match. I
guess I will say, I don't think it does any damage to stop this from being the best John Cena title reign we've seen.
So I like a lot of this, but I'm also noticing some periods of drag, and I'm not at this point until we've talked about it. Sure, it's going to get much higher than middle of B there, which is where the other one is. So let's break it down a little. Edge match is a classic.
Yep.
Umaga match is a classic.
Yep.
The Khali Extreme Rules match and the Bobby Lashley Great American Bash match both deserve some credit for what he does.
The Mania match is pretty fine.
I'd say the Mania match underachieves. Like, it is fine.
That's probably fair.
But it should be way better.
Yeah, I think the Backlash Fatal 4-Way overachieves.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good match. The Fatal 5-Way I like, but I don't think...
I don't know that one.
Yeah, I like it, but it doesn't give him any points. And then you've got some real drag in here. Like, the build around the Fatal 5-Way is really bad. The Shawn tag title run, Strange Bedfellows.
Why is Mick Foley in that match?
He's the best part of that match. He's really good.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know why he's even there. I didn't think like he was still on TV.
He's looking to win one last WWE title or something like that. It's good. Yeah. So I think I like the Shawn Mania build. I'm very close to not liking it, but I think I do like it. I think the stuff that really kills this reign's the end. Because I think the end's pretty bad. You take like a Randy Orton who's finally hot again, and you cool him down quite a bit. None of the matches are really any good. The DQ matches,
No, yeah.
the Unforgiven match is actually all right, to be fair, but the SummerSlam match needed to be better than it was. And I do like, I'm not saying any reign that doesn't end with a match is bad, but I do think that this reign's missing like a final loss, and I think that would have really tied it together. I don't think this is an actively good reign. I think B is my cap for this reign, even though there's two classics and there are two classics and two massive overachieves in there. I will say that. Like I think the Lashley run, the Lashley and Khali stuff's pretty legendary. So yeah, and the Umaga and Edge stuff is classic. But I don't know. I think there's enough bad to drag it down to B. I don't think it quite reaches A, even if individually all that stuff I just mentioned is like AS level. I guess the Umaga match has an argument of being the best match we've talked about today, and that should be said.
That's crazy. That's crazy. You're right, but yes, that's crazy. I think it's definitely the best Cena reign we've looked at.
Let me refamiliarize myself with Cena 2, because that's the one it's competing with.
Yeah, Cena 2 is not good. Well, it's better than Cena 1, I guess.
It's better. This reign's better than Cena 2. Yeah, Cena 3 is definitely better than Cena 2.
My only questions now are Kurt.
I think it's definitely better than Taker.
It's almost certainly better
than Taker. I thought Taker was better than the Kurt 2. So I guess I'm leaning towards it being at the top of B, which I would be happy with if you didn't want to push.
Yeah, I think it is the top of B, looking at the Kurt stuff here. Yeah, it's top of B.
All right, there we go. Almost at the end here.
Randy Orton.
Randy Orton gets awarded the title.
Wow, wait, I didn't think we got 3 Fs. That's crazy.
Is this correct? No,
this is the one, yeah.
No, I feel like this is missing. This is adding a match that shouldn't be here. Yeah, I feel like this last man standing match shouldn't be here. Yeah, no, it shouldn't. Because he gets given the belt. Yeah. So this last man standing match shouldn't be here.
Oh yeah, Triple H isn't the champion. It's a vacant belt.
Yeah, so it's just the one match. Okay, now I'm gonna make an argument for it not being F, because there's nothing wrong with it. Like, it's fun. Him getting awarded the title as like the chosen one, this young kind of good-looking guy who gets given the belt. The pyro goes off. It's this crowning moment, and then Triple H, the badass, the game comes out to challenge him for the title. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I'm not gonna say it's like an S tier reign or anything, but I don't think it's F. I don't think there's any like and also like my argument would be it's good. Like, you wouldn't, like, if you take that angle out of this show, it's worse for it. It's not like this did any harm. This was fun, and it completes the overall story of the night. I would probably go for B, just because, like, there's not much to talk about. The match is alright. The angle is good. I would probably just say B. You seem confused.
I think you're... Yeah, I looked ahead, and that's why I got confused. There's stuff in that Triple H thing that doesn't make any sense. He loses a match, but
the Triple H thing is correct. It just probably is in the wrong order. Because it's all happening on the same night.
Wait, yeah, so Randy Orton...
the second match on the Triple H list is the first one, then it's the Umaga match, and then it's the last man standing.
So I forget how this went. So Orton enters the pay-per-view champion, then leaves it champion?
The belt is vacant in the start of the show.
So, yeah, sorry.
Vince gives him the belt. Then Triple H comes out, they fight for the belt, Triple H wins it. Then later in the night, Vince is like, well, we promised you a Triple H Umaga match. So they do that for the belt. Triple H wins. And then he's like, oh, well, we promised you a WWE title last man standing match. So they do Triple H versus Orton. Main event, last man standing. Orton wins. Takes the belt. Worth putting my biases on the table here. This is one of my top 5 WWE shows ever. It's one of my favorite shows I've ever seen. It's a great wrestling show. So I'm always going to be a little bit more biased towards some of these reigns. But I don't think this first reign, I don't think if it was like nonsense and it was like a 10-minute title reign, then I'd be with you. But it's like, it serves a purpose. There's nothing wrong with this title reign.
No, it does. And it's a good angle. I think I had thought it was, I think I've done this before, where I think it's Orton gets given the belt, Triple H beats him, then Triple H beats Umaga, then they main event, Triple H beats him.
Oh,
That's what it is in my head. Triple H just cleans up Randy Orton, and it's just like, all right, whatever. And then they just try to keep doing the feud, and it's like, no, he killed him. So that's a little better than what I had remembered. That is genuinely how I remember it, though. I remember like the Last Man Standing with Triple H winning, and them just being like, wow, Randy Orton sucks. So yeah, I definitely think it's a really good angle for what it is. It's tough though because we're talking about the reigns.
Yep.
And the angles of the reigns, but is the reign just the angle?
Well, this reign is just the angle in the match. Yeah, that's all we've got.
That's so crazy.
And while there's there's not enough there for me to say it's like it's an all timer or anything. I don't think there's anything like I'd hard pitch for B. I'd be happy putting it right at the bottom of B if that's something you're comfortable with. But I'm also open to discuss other tiers still.
I was gonna say it might be somewhere in the middle of B. I don't know. It is a really good angle, and like it's for what it is. Like if we're talking about what it is versus what it isn't, I mean, other reigns are longer, sure, but that just means they have a lot more.
I would.
Them.
I think I'd be more comfortable with putting it higher in B if the match was good, but the match is just fine. So for me,
I guess we're talking about the. I guess the Orton one is very much just the first match. The Triple H one is that show as like an angle, and then the next Orton one is just a totally different reign. So I would, I could maybe put this Orton thing. Excuse me, jeez. I could maybe put this Orton thing right at the bottom of B.
Cool. Yeah, that's
I think I agree with that.
So I'm down for that. Okay, so yeah, the Triple H angle we've talked about already, but he beats Orton at the start of the night. He defends against Umaga. And then he loses to Orton in the Last Man Standing at the end of the night. Orton. I would argue Triple H and Randy Orton's best match. I think it's quite good. It's not amazing, but
that's a real hard category.
Hard bout.
So many good
ones. Yeah.
So many classics.
Yeah, I think you nailed it when you said that basically this reign is the show.
Yeah.
And I love the show. I don't know, something about me separates the reign a little from the show, though. But I guess you're right. No, I don't know why I'd separate it. And yeah, it's a great angle, I think. The idea of him just being worn down and eventually losing it, his feud with Vince, they sell it really well. I think also it's worth saying, and I might be wrong in this, but I think it takes some humility to be Triple H on this show. I think it's not. I don't think every wrestler would be happy with this show. I think he'd be like, I'm winning the belt and I'm losing it later in the night. Like, what the hell?
What is this? Yeah. Why are we doing it? What is happening?
Yeah, and I think he's the loser, definitely, on the night. Even though, like, he also beats Umaga after beating Randy Orton, right? So
yeah, it's weird, because, like, he does come away the loser, but it's not his fault.
No.
Like, it's not anything that he's done. He's not stupid for getting himself involved in too many matches. It's just how it is. He's told to do these things.
I guess, well, it's kind of, because I think he does rile Vince up a little bit, but I think that's, I think you're right on the whole. I think, given the basis of, like, this reign is basically the show, and I really like this show, maybe the bottom of A?
I was willing to put it, like, high B. Like, I was thinking higher than Taker. I gotta look at that Kurt 2 again. I
think that the show as an angle is so.
Oh, it is.
It's good enough, I think, to pull it into A.
Let me just check. Cena 3.
That's Cena 3, right? Yeah, that's Cena 3.
Yeah.
So Cena 3 has the 2 classics, the 2 carries, and then a bunch of bullshit and a bad ending.
I don't know if it's better than Cena 3.
Well, you got to think. So that's the one thing I'm valuing here is like. I guess it is. Consistency, like on average. So the Cena reign has some great stuff and then has some shite. Whereas this Triple H run, more so than most of these runs, is just all heat. There's nothing.
Literally.
If you agree that the show is good, then like there's literally it's just all bangers, all gas, no breaks. It's just top to bottom a great run because it's 3 hours. So. Yeah.
I could do low A.
Okay.
Honestly.
Talked you around on it.
There's maybe even a chance it's higher than
the JBL.
JBL. Higher than maybe Brock 1. I don't know.
I think I don't think it is, but I think you can make the argument. I could see,
running back up to Brock 1 here really quick.
Yeah.
Oh, you're probably right. Yeah, it's probably not that high. But it might be able to beat the JBL stuff. It's close,
Maybe.
I think.
Yeah.
In the final bit we're doing
Wait,
today,
hold on. Are there 3 Brock runs or 2 Brock runs?
3.
Oh, I see the third one now. It's in B. I couldn't find that.
I did the same thing. I was like, wow, he had 3 reigns this year. Like, this is 1 year.
Oh yeah, so the final one we got today is Randy Orton, who takes us into the new era. Obviously beats Triple H at No Mercy. Then he has a handicap match with Umaga. Don't really understand that one. Shawn Michaels wins
DQ anyway,
by DQ at Cyber Sunday.
A lot of DQ, eh?
Then Shawn beats Shawn at Survivor Series. These are good matches. Loses to Jericho by DQ at Armageddon. Do you remember that match? Do you remember that match? Armageddon? Jericho Orton?
I remember the build to it, obviously. I remember, save us, the savior, gotta save us from boring TV or whatever. It's like, damn, Chris.
Do you know why Randy Orton gets DQ'd?
No, what does he do?
John Bradshaw Layfield, who is present for SmackDown's commentary, decides to attack Chris Jericho. And then they never get back to Jericho Orton, and they just feud JBL and Jericho for the Rumble. I don't remember why. Wow, I think it was just because Jericho and JBL wanted to get off of comms.
Yeah, JBL wants to get back in the ring, I guess, and Jericho, I don't know, they get Jericho back, and they're like, oh, never mind, what were we doing? What were we thinking? Shit.
The Jeff Hardy match is fine, but it's not as good as it should be. The Cena match is bad. The build to it is bad.
DQ in here. A lot of DQ.
The title match at Mania is a massive missed opportunity. This
a mess.
is a bad run.
It is.
Yeah.
It very much is. It's so crazy that a lot of these should work and they don't. They're bad.
Yeah.
Like him and Shawn should work. Him and Jeff should work. Triple H and Cena, Orton at fucking Mania for a belt and a triple threat, and it's not good.
The Shawn match is pretty good. I think it's not. I think it gets saved from F.
It's probably the best match of this reign, unless you count the
Last Man Standing, which
I guess you should. Yeah. So it is so then the Last Man Standing is the best match.
So I guess it's the question of the whole video, which is it better than the Big Show, and is it better than the Rock?
I love how that's the lines.
And I do like I said at the start the Big Show reign will be the bottom of C, and it almost hasn't been, but I think it's going to end up being, because I think this Orton reign goes right below Edge too. I think that's where it is. Maybe below Rock. Maybe below Big Show.
It might be below The Rock. I think it's probably above the Big Show.
The Brock,
maybe not.
I feel like the Shawn match, the Last Man Standing. Yeah, that's it. The Shawn match and the Last Man Standing get it to above Rock for me, because remember the Rock run is literally just Rock versus Brock, isn't it?
Yes, it literally.
And
is.
I think the Last Man. I would probably say the Last Man Standing's better, and then you've also got the Shawn match.
It's a lot longer though.
That is true, and it's really, really boring TV. It's really bad TV.
This is peak Headlock Orton, baby.
No, not quite yet. It's not. That's a year to come.
Not yet.
It's the start of peak. It's not quite peak. Okay, I'm convinced with Brock. Sorry, I'm convinced with Rock.
Yeah, I think it might be lower than The Rock.
Right, let me remind myself of this Big Show reign, because wasn't this Big Show reign really bad?
Very nothing. Yes, it was like a month. They don't even get around to the cool match that they set up.
There's less wrong with this Big Show reign, though.
I mean, there's one really weird.
Yeah, you're right.
Event though, which I don't seem to understand how that happened.
So are we sticking it between Rock and Big Show?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. I'd agree with that.
How did we do that so well? By the way, look at the distribution on that thing.
Well, yeah. No.
Did we plan this? What's going on?
Absolutely not. Oh, is there any changes we'd like to make? Is there anything that stands out? Anything that you're like on the verge of? I guess we should start with, Is there anything in C that we think could be F? I think the Orton 2 could be F, but I don't think it is. But I think it could be. And I think
Orton 2
Cena 1 could be F.
So crazy that Orton 2 is closer to F to me than the Big Show thing is. Because the Big Show thing is so inoffensive.
Yeah.
Well, the Orton thing is like actively
bad.
Like throttling you, grabbing your throat, trying to take the life out of you. Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't think so though. I think all the C's stay at C for me.
I think I'd probably agree. I think Triple H being where he is also a pretty good marker of it. Because that reign is also very nothing, but it's not bad nothing like the Big Show. It's a bit of a good nothing.
I'm looking at Cena 3 and wondering whether it just makes A because of the 2 classics and the 2 carries.
It might. It's weird. B is interesting, I feel like, because there's 2... I think there's 2 good reigns in B. I really think there are. Like the top 2 there, the Kurt one and the Cena one, the ones that could maybe sneak into bottom A.
I think the Kurt one is a perfect example of a good B though. Like it should be that top B.
Yeah.
Whereas and the Cena one could be the same, but it's like I'm pretty confident with the Kurt one staying. And I'd be happy with the Cena one staying, but I think the Cena one could move.
Cena 3.
That's the Umaga, the TLC, the Kali, the Lashley, the Fatal 4-Way.
This even has the Master stuff, which to be fair, good. I mean, isn't fantastic, but I remember it.
Some of that Master stuff was happening in Cena 1, though.
Oh, was it? Maybe that is what I'm thinking about. Because I was going to say, I was literally going to say that, like, all the things I remember are from Cena 3 for some reason. Everything else is nothing. Like, it's...
Because Masters is in the Elimination Chamber, and also...
You're right, yes. That is all kind of related.
He's also in the Kurt Angle Triple Threat, no holds barred submission.
Okay, so yeah, they are doing the Master stuff around Cena at that time then.
That's Cena 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the back half of Cena 3 may fuck him up on it.
Oh yeah, I'm with you on that.
Like, I think that may keep him B. Like, cause it's rough.
If he just like loses the title to Orton at SummerSlam, which is a great booking decision, I wonder who would do that. Then it turns out it ends up being a lot better of a reign.
It does. It's a lot cleaner. The part that drags is a little less.
Yeah.
It's kind of insane to see that Bobby Lashley match in there.
And if you guys want to see a world in which that happened, check out youtube.com/sillytalk.
Yeah, what's going on over there?
So yeah, what's your final thoughts on Cena 3? Does it stay B? Or does it move to A?
I think it's sticking B.
Yeah. Okay. And then the last shout I have is it's Eddie. I think I've got like in my heart the only one on the A's that I think could move to S is Eddie. Mixture of the cultural significance, how good the start and the end was, how good Eddie was, how iconic he is with that belt, how iconic he is with the era. I think he's okay to stay in A, but he'd be my one shout to maybe move.
Looking at Kurt 1 versus Eddie. Ooh, you might be. I think you're maybe even onto something with just moving Eddie in front of Kurt.
Yeah, I'd be down to do that. I like Kurt 1. I was the big pusher for Kurt 1 because I think it's solid from a content perspective.
It really is.
And the story's really great, but I would be down to move Eddie in front if that's what you want to go for.
I think if I look at it because the Eddie thing has no misses. Like in theory, you know what I mean? Like if you look at this reign, there's no misses here. There's nothing.
Which is impressive given its length and how many matches are in there. Yeah.
Yeah, this is actively bad. Where you look at the Kurt thing and it's the same way pretty much, but it's shorter. Or is it even? There's less matches for sure. I don't know.
It's around the same.
Because he gets hurt. He clearly didn't work February, or maybe he just didn't defend the title. Oh yeah, because I guess that would be No Way Out, right? So wait, no, that would be a SmackDown thing. So I don't know what's up there.
Is this No
Maybe
Way
it was
Out
just her.
2000? I can't check. Never mind. I'd fuck up the stream if I checked.
Yeah, 03. I can look it up. Hold on.
Yeah. No Way Out 2003.
No Way Out 03. No, this is a Raw No Way Out. This is Steiner Triple H.
Oh, I remember the poster for that one.
Big Scott flexing on
Hell
him.
yeah, dude. I can't wait to do the World Heavyweight title reigns.
God, his arms look disgusting. Jesus. Yeah. There was the main match on the undercard from SmackDown was a 6-man tag team match between Team Angle and the team of Brock Lesnar, Edge, and Chris Benoit, where Edge was unable to participate. Oh, okay. So it wasn't that then. So you lied. Why would you not say what it is and then say Edge was supposed to be in that match? Yeah, it's a handicap match. What the hell? What the hell, Wikipedia? Figure your shit out.
You can edit that right now.
I could.
All right, final call then. Is Eddie or Kurt the greatest WWE champion of the Ruthless Aggression era?
I think it's Eddie.
Okay. Is he an S tier WWE champion? I don't think so.
I think he just doesn't have it, unfortunately.
Yeah. What,
it's just...
Should we imagine from any era what would be an S tier WWE title reign?
CM Punk 2012. No.
Tough one.
My head is screaming like there's one of Brett's, but I don't know which one.
My head immediately went to 2013, but I couldn't quite find a run.
2013?
Like an Orton run or a Bryan run where they fought each other a bunch. Or they fought.
Yeah, none of that's for the belt though. Yeah.
No. But like the second Orton run's pretty good. It's just it gets ruined by the Big Show, so it wouldn't be S.
Yep. What would be? Wow, would there even be? Would I even call a WWE title reign S? Like ever?
I don't think it's necessarily that bad if there isn't one, but it would be nice. Like, it doesn't have to be WWE. Include World Heavyweight title runs as well. Like any world title run in the WWE.
Okay, sure. Let me think for a second.
Batista. We'll go after this next video, but like Batista 2006, 2007.
Dave was in my head. Like all that stuff is pretty solid. But I don't know if it's like fantastic. You know what I mean? Like if all of it's good, really good.
The loss is classic. Yeah. Maybe this Eddie run is that, you know.
There's a good chance it might be the closest we get to it, unless I'm trying to think here. Wow, they've really. I'm like thinking about it, and I'm just like, wow, there's like not very many that I think about in terms of like this is really like fantastic.
The current Roman one would be quite high for me. I don't think it's S though, but it's not.
I don't think it's S either. Away. I think there's so much like, if we're talking about like I don't know periods dragging and stuff like that, there's a ton of that in the Roman stuff. But you're gonna get that when you're champion across 4 years.
Well, the WWE run's only like 2 years, I think.
Is that true? I don't even know. No, because didn't he win the Universal belt late? Oh no,
no, it's the Universal one. He had first.
Which is why they had to combine it with the WWE belt, because then
he gets the record.
Seems a little more impressive. Yeah, then he was the longest Universal champion. Like, oh, okay, who cares?
This is cheating, but Bailey, right?
Yeah, literally, we're gonna have to jump to the women. Asuka, NXT.
Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, NXT champion. Pretty.
Yeah. It'll be the NXT title moment. Yeah, I can't think of like anything at any point. I think like literally like this Kurt stuff, the Brock stuff, the Kurt stuff, the Eddie stuff might be the closest they ever get to an S. Unironically.
Does Punk lose the belt at SummerSlam 2011? He does, right?
No.
I think he does. He gets screwed out of it. Check. SummerSlam 2011. Does he lose
to Cena? I got it.
Because if he does, I feel like that might be an S tier reign.
He beat Cena to become the undisputed champion with Triple H as the
special guest ref. Del Rio cashes in.
Cashes in.
That's an S.
That's at Money in the Bank.
That's an S tier WWE title reign for me. That Punk one.
Yeah, that's like 1 month. Yeah, it is 1 month.
Yeah. But it's fantastic TV. Oh,
it is.
Yeah.
The most vital 1 month in that company.
Maybe the Ray thing
2000.
kind of undermines it, but that's not really Punk's thing. But, yeah.
Poor Ray thing. Oh.
Okay, well we've explored other eras and we found that actually there aren't that many S tier reigns.
Yeah, we found actually WB sucks. You should stop watching it.
Although if we ask for more F tier reigns, so I just final. Do we think Eddie sneaks in, or do we think he's still an A tier guy?
And it hurts. It actually hurts like badly to not say S, because it's like who else? Who else? Nobody.
But it's kind of our if our take is WWE has very few, if any, S tier championship reigns. That's okay. That could be our take.
I was gonna say, which I think is legitimately what I've just realized. I didn't know. I didn't know. I even thought that. I was like, oh, there's for sure gonna be like an S. Like, if you had asked me, I'd be like, there's probably an S on like every list we would do. In the very first one, it's like, no, it's just not that good. Let's think about like in any context what would be S, and it's like there's a couple from their dev fed. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's brutal. Wow.
So are we locking this in? I'm pretty happy with it.
I am as well. I think that's probably pretty locked up. Yeah.
Okay. Well, first things first. In the comments, tell us what we got wrong, where you would shift things for sure. Secondly, I want to take a look at some interesting. So obviously, one of the things I noticed immediately is the A tier. There's only one spinner belt in there. The rest are the undisputed belt, which is quite
that one spinner belt escapes with the fact that it is a single show angle that is really well done.
However, is it a 50-50 split on the A tier? No, not quite. There's 4 undisputeds and 3 spinners on the B tier.
Yes. 4 undisputed, 3 spinners.
There's 3 undisputeds in the C tier, 2 spinners, and the 2 belts.
Original undisputed, the unmelded.
And then it's only spinners in F.
Big 06, baby. Best year ever.
That's a good point. Like, we can go by years, right? So it's 04, 02, 03 to 04, 02, 04 to 05, 07. Those are the top rows, if I've gotten those years right.
Yeah, it's 04, 03, 03, 04, 02, 04, 05, 07. Yeah.
The Brock one's 04, 05. No, you're right. It is 03, 04. I'm wrong. You're right.
Yep. And then the second Brock image is the 02 one.
Yep.
The very first one.
Yep. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to go over here?
I don't think so. I think that might be the list as it is. So yeah,
Triple H, our very first tier list video, and Triple H and JBL are in the A tier. You love to see it.
People are gonna hate us already.
I hate us.
True. If you think we're dumb and we don't know anything, tell me about it so I can laugh at you from behind the screen and laugh at your notion that you know things when only I know things. This is a bad bit. Whatever. We're gonna be doing more of these hopefully at some point.
Give us ideas.
Please do let us know. Yeah, like, I don't know. Did you like this? How could we improve this? Was the editing terrible? You can yell at me about that. That's my fault.
What should we do? Would you like to see quiz formats? That's what I want to do. Would you like to see us talk about a specific show?
Yeah, we could do that. We could do a lot of things. We could do so many things. Could you believe that? We could almost do anything, I feel like. That's so crazy.
If you like this, make sure to check out our Patreon, which might also become a vehicle through which we take ideas.
Yeah, that'd be a good thing. I mean, in theory, if that Patreon gets banging enough, there could be some exclusive things going on over there. But as for now, there isn't.
It's true.
Outside of the TW series stuff.
Yep.
Which maybe I should plug that. I don't know.
I think I got the plug-in for SummerSlam 08. I think or 7.
I guess so.
Yeah,
I guess they got it. Regardless, we play a basically a glorified spreadsheet. It's a booking simulator called Total Extreme Wrestling. The current version is 2020. We're doing the WWE. We've booked from January of 2004 to now. We are in September of 2007. It's been a lot of fun. It's literally why we've chosen this period to do these first couple videos like this. We know what's going on in that period. Seen some of it through booking it and whatnot. What is that? It's a piece of fluff in my mouth. Ugh. Hold on. It was gross. Yeah, anyways, it's basically a glorified spreadsheet, but it's fun because it's like same kind of thing. It's a lot of like imagination, pen and paper type stuff, kind of. I don't know. If you want to look at it, there's a link down below. You'll see it. You'll immediately probably know if it's a thing you're interested in or not. There's a fair amount of content there. Yeah. Anything you want to say, buddy?
Fuck the Big Show, I guess.
Damn. Got him.
All right. Cool. I will say I forgot to press record. Don't panic. We can still just.
That's fine.
Yeah, we can still just rip the stream.
I was gonna say there's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, I wasn't panicked. I was
cool.
That's fine,
cool,
right?
Cool.
You know how to do that.
Yeah. We can totally rip the stream.
Because I've done that. I'm like, I know how to do that. So yeah, perfect.
I love JBL Run. It was actually really good. Nice. Well, we've got it in A. I like this era more than that really popular era. I assume he means the Attitude Era. That's a good. I agree. I think.
But, for sure. I was going to say it, but I kind of never got to it. But like, this is the best period of in-ring professional wrestling the WWE ever had. Like,
I don't know. I think that's a fair view to hold. I think I prefer like 11 to 14 as from an in-ring perspective.
I think the modern stuff is probably the closest you're getting to rivaling that era, but I don't know, man. You've got legitimate like all-time in-ring workers between like Angle, Lesnar, Benoit, Mysterio, Guerrero, others.
I think it.
Somebody else.
No, you're right. And also, if we go and do the World Heavyweight title, we'll also have more names on here for sure. I think you're right. I think a lot of times it doesn't always come together in this era, though, because I agree with you that like they had a lot of those names, and a lot of those names fought each other, but like it doesn't always go down the way you think it's going to, and like oftentimes the best periods in wrestling aren't when you've got 8 banger names. It's actually when you've got 2 banger names and they're having great matches with like everybody, and I think that just tends to be the better. But I agree. I think there are periods in this era that are pretty classic. But I also think there are periods in this era that are pretty bad, and that goes from like 02 all the way through to 08. Like it's not just a later problem; it's also an earlier problem as well. Like you've got stuff like Hogan, and
I guess I should specify that like legitimately the era that I think, or the time period, because I guess I should say era because that's too.
Also, sorry to interrupt you, but how on earth did Hogan get that high? I've only just realized where he is. Holy shit! I think it's fair, but man, I would not have predicted that at the start of this tier list. But
it's what you can remember from that time. You remember Hulk still rules, and the new look, and the coming out to Voodoo Child and stuff like that, like. Based. Base range somehow. I forget what the hell I was gonna say.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I don't even. Oh yeah, I was gonna say specifically the time period I was thinking of is like this is the best in-ring period. It's like somewhere around like mid to late 02 to like early 04 maybe. It's just 2003. It's just 2003. 2003 was the best year ever, and they never touched it.
And at the start of this stream, you said that was the year that you weren't gonna remember anything from. I
think I said 02, didn't I?
No, you said 03.
No, you're right. Yeah.
You're like, I know
It's
some of
because-
the O2, but the depths of O3, you were like, no.
Well, it's because to me, I didn't realize Kurt and Brock traded the belt that much. I thought maybe they had one reign each that year, and they were longer reigns.
Yeah.
Instead, it was 3 Brock reigns, 2 Kurt reigns. The Big Show reign is in there at the end.
No, the Big Show reigns in 2002.
Oh, you're right. So it's Brock, Big
So
Show,
Kurt starts. Kurt
Brock,
starts.
Kurt, Brock.
Yeah, Kurt starts the year, and then it's Brock, and then it's Kurt, and then it's Brock, and that's it. That's 2003. So it's Kurt, Brock, which is a lot of trading, to be fair. Can I save this?
Yeah, I think so.
I can download an image. I'll see if I can save it off stream.
I don't think you save it. Yeah, no, I think it just did you make that?
I did make this.
Did you make it like a single use thing, or did you make it like a?
I made it a single use thing.
Yeah, then no, I don't think you can save it. Other people can't do it.
Okay, so, well, I'll do the multi-use one next time, and I'll save this, and we can maybe tweet it at some point.
Depending on how difficult it is, since you do have all the pictures together, you could maybe.
I could make another one. Yeah, that's true, and that wouldn't be too much effort. No, that wouldn't be too much effort.
Up to you.
I gotta do that. All right, I'm gonna close out the stream though. Thank you for those who came and watched our little pilot episode of. I assume this isn't gonna be like a series title, right? It's just gonna be.
Yeah.
You'll have to come up with the name for the channel if that's the direction you take.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
I should have said something that left a pause just in case I did change the channel and I could dub it back in.
Putty and Tucker wrestling takes. pt.1. No. All right. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, tweet us, and I might put this up on the VODs channel at some point, but we can talk about that. Peace out.